What's going on, everybody? Welcome into our draft coverage here with Grind City Media. We are starting off hot, the #1 draft pick. So helping me talk about the Orlando Magic today is Philip Rossman-Reich. How are you today? It's been a whole year since we did this.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to be back. I know you had quite a year there in Memphis, and hopefully we'll be seeing you in the finals here in 2023.
There we go. Wishful thinking. Let's talk about maybe not the Grizzlies season. Let's talk about the Magic season. The Magic finished last in the East, 22-60 record. But the glimmer of hope is that they got that #1 pick at the lottery. But with great power in that #1 pick comes great responsibility. There is kind of, Philip, a top 3 that like everyone is like, top 3 is most likely what you're going to get. They're all big guys. And we're going to get to who you actually choose later on. But when you look at the Magic, what they need, what they were missing this year, obviously the #5 and #8 pick last year with Jalen Suggs and Franz Wagner. You got Markelle Fultz, probably hopefully a full healthy season coming up next year. Cole Anthony was a great scorer. Like, there are pieces there with Orlando. What are they missing? What are they going to want to get with this #1 pick?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think whenever you're drafting with the top pick in the draft, the biggest thing that you're looking for is to get the best player. You need to get talent more than anything else. And you look at all the players on the Magic roster, there are a lot of really nice pieces, like you said. You know, Wendell Carter had an incredible finish to his season, had a really great year. Franz Wagner was all rookie first team in a really good rookie class. Jalen Suggs, was considered one of the top prospects in last year's draft. He struggled with injuries, struggled a little bit with his finishing, but he's already a really high level defender. Cole Anthony had a breakout. Mo Bamba had a breakout. There are a lot of really good young pieces. And honestly, the biggest thing that this team is missing is just that one guy that kind of ties it all together. The one guy that kind of puts everyone in the right roles that enables them to win. The Magic finished last year 29th in offensive rating. They were bottom 5 in almost every offensive category that matters, that people would track. The only offensive category I can think of that they didn't finish in the bottom 5 in is pace, which, you can determine if that's a good thing or not later. They need guys that can just play at the highest levels. They need a guy that, projects to be that superstar player that's going to be the center of the franchise as they try to push their way back into the playoff picture and hopefully further deeper into the Eastern Conference.
I mentioned that the 3 top guys, and again, we're going to get to them. The 3 top guys are bigs. They're forwards or centers or somewhere in between there. And you talk about where Orlando ranks in terms of offensive rating. Another one of those things is the 3-point shot, 28th in the league in 3-point percentage. Do you think that the Magic, do you think that matters to the Magic, or you think they're like, you know what, these are all big guys, let's get the biggest guy and figure out our offense then?
I think that does matter. I mean, you mentioned the Magic were 28th in the league in 3-point field goal percentage. They were 11th in the league in 3-point field goal attempts. So they're not afraid to take threes. Yeah, no, they're not afraid to take them. And certainly some of them are, the offense is kind of petered out. Let's just take a 3 here, but they're also trying to modernize their offense a little bit. Obviously 3-point attempts throughout the league are way up. It's an important part of any offensive system. And I really think, and I give Jamal Mosley credit for this, he was having them play the offense he wants them to play. He maybe wasn't necessarily playing the offense that would be best for this young group to win immediately, because let's be real, winning this year, at least, wasn't the big goal. It's about what you're going to look like, a year or 2 years down the road when you're starting to compete for the playoffs. He's trying to have them play and think that way now. And so I don't think that 3-point shot is going away, and having good 3-point shooters makes everyone's life easier. I mean, as much pressure as I think there's going to be on whoever the Magic take with the first pick, like we said, they already have a lot of really good young players. There's going to be guys there to ease pressure off of them. And so the better everyone gets at shooting threes, the easier it's going to be for everyone else to operate and do the other little things that'll help make the offense a lot better. So I definitely think 3-point shooting is a big factor here.
Yeah. On the flip side, with a lot of 3-point attempts and low percentages comes the opportunity for offensive rebounding, and the top 3 guys, I'll just give the names now since we've been teasing it. Chet Holmgren, Jabari Smith Jr., and Paolo Banchero, all big guys who can rebound. So all that being said, there are ways to continue playing the way Orlando wants to play and then also fit a big guy in there. Anyway, you're on the clock now. You've got the number 1 pick. No pressure, but this starts off our whole draft coverage with the number 1 pick, Philip. You are now representing Orlando for the sake of this mock draft. Who are you going to go with?
I will fully admit this. This is as big of a debate as there's been for the top pick in a really long time. For Magic fans, it's reminiscent of the debate that occurred between Dwight Howard and Emeka Okafor. Yes, that was a real debate that happened. The Magic picked correctly in picking Dwight Howard. But these 3 players, Jabari Smith, Paolo Banchero, Chet Holmgren, they're all really close, and they all provide different things to the team. And I've kind of come to say that, you know, the Magic are going to be picking more the team they want to have than necessarily the player, because all 3 players are really, really good. This is all me roundabout saying, with the first pick in the draft, I'm taking Jabari Smith of Auburn. He has the mix of defensive versatility. He can guard at pretty much 2 through 4, if not 2 through 5. He's got that great wingspan. He's already a high level defender coming out of the college ranks, but he's also a knockdown shooter. He's one of the best shooters in this entire draft class, in a draft class that's frankly devoid of a lot of shooting. And he'll come in, step in, and immediately provide that 3-point shooting spacing that the Magic need. He'll be able to kind of fit a role even as he's learning the NBA. The big concern with him is his ability to create off the dribble. He showed some signs of that at Auburn, but it's definitely an area where he needs to improve. But it's something that a lot of people think he can get to, especially with NBA spacing rather than college spacing. The court in college is just so much more congested. I will admit I still kind of change my mind almost daily, sometimes hourly, on who the number 1 pick is. That's how close this is. But more often than not, I'm landing on Jabari Smith Jr., and I think that's ultimately going to be the Magic's pick here at number 1.
Are you, and this is just a quick follow-up question, are you, when you change your mind, going between all 3, or is it like Jabari and Chet? Is it Jabari and Paolo? Or is it, like, I know you've chosen Jabari. He's off the board.
No. It's all 3, to be perfectly honest. I think you can make a really good argument for Chet Holmgren to be number 1. There are just not a lot of 7-footers that move with his fluidity, that have his shot block timing. Like when we talk about unicorns, we talk about what like Kristaps Porzingis was supposed to be kind of entering the league, and obviously injuries have kind of slowed him down a little bit, but he's still really effective. Chet Holmgren's kind of the next evolution of that. I talk about the Magic needing a guy who is just a go-to scorer. Paolo Banchero was that at Duke. He showed that at Duke. He showed that he can be that kind of go-to, drop the ball to him in the mid post and the low post, turn around, get you a bucket when you need a bucket. That's super valuable. And that's something the Magic have not had in a very, very long time. The last non-center to average 20 points per game in a Magic uniform was Steve Francis back in 2005. They have not had a lot of wings, a lot of kind of off the bounce guys that can get you baskets. And that's something that they desperately need. So I definitely bounce between all 3, but more often than not, when you spin the wheel, it comes up Jabari Smith. And so I'll stick with that pick here.
All right, there we go. I like the pick. Philip, thank you so much. I am so excited to see how it all unfolds at the end of the month. And I appreciate your time. And I can't wait for your season next year. You're going to number 1 pick that, like we just talked about, that can change the franchise. So I'm excited for you.
I appreciate it. We're really excited down here in Orlando, and hopefully we'll be making a little bit more noise here.
There we go. Everyone at home, make sure you are tuned in every day from now until the draft. We've got you covered with your draft coverage. Number 2 pick coming up tomorrow.